Okay, uh, for the vocabulary, number one, a fable is a short story or a legend or a tale. And usually it has like a moral or a specific purpose in that story. Uh, Fables, I mean, the word fable or even a fable itself is something that's very old. I mean, they have fables from hundreds and thousands of years ago. Well, I guess hundreds of years ago, yeah, thousands of years ago too. So they're just old stories. It can be old stories about, for example, do you know the story about King Arthur? He pulled the sword from the stone. So that's probably the most famous fable that I can think of. Number two, boycott is to refuse to participate in something or to buy something, or even to try to block something from having any business. So typically when people are upset about a business and the way they act, they try to boycott it. So maybe they try to block people from going to that business, or they protest outside, try to give it a bad image, things like that. Number three, foreground. So foreground is to, it says to emphasize an issue, but it's to emphasize the issue up front, or like before you learn any background information about it. So it's kind of like you just give a very simple explanation about it and let people assume the rest instead of giving any more ideas about it. Number four, seamstress, a person that sews, or a woman that sews. So that used to be an actual profession that people had a long time ago. Number five, wantedly, meaning usually. It's a very old word. I don't use it anymore. I mean, I don't use it at all. People don't use that anymore. Number six, metaphor. A metaphor is basically using a word or an expression or a phrase to mean something else. So basically, metaphors have a lot of symbolism in it, right? So sometimes even so in the English language, when you have a metaphor, it's like saying, oh, this is like this. But you can say a movie or a story is a metaphor for a certain type of symbol or meaning or a certain type of movement. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie American Psycho with Christian Bale. He's like a rich Wall Street investor, and he kills a lot of people. He murders a lot of people. He's like really crazy, but they never arrested him. The metaphor of that movie is how powerful Wall Street was in the 1980s, that you could almost kill anyone you want and nobody would care because you were that powerful on Wall Street. That's the metaphor of the movie, or the meaning. Number seven, chastise, is to criticize or insult someone very harshly. So it's very, usually very harsh. When you chastise someone, usually maybe it's not acceptable because it can be a little too strong, right? Yeah. So maybe like the old ways of punishing kids, we would chastise them by making them hold a sign saying, oh, I did this, and then make them stand on the corner, or make them clean the whole house, or something like that. Okay, and those are our vocabulary words.